What's up, everyone? And we are live for another episode of Who Are They? Spin from the Real. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, who's hidden at the moment, the one and the only Chris Anthony Lopez.
Stop it, Matt. You're too kind, homie. How you doing? You good, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty well.
Man. It's our first show post spectacular. I'm super excited to be here to talk spectacular with you. We have so much on the docket today. Not only we're going to talk about the results of the matches, we have some cutscenes we have to talk about because there's a lot of story going on with this show. But Matt, I'm the one thing I have to ask you, man, is Are you ready, Matt?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Because honestly, man, this whole back half of the year has been just you railing me for my choice of faction.
Yep.
And Matthew, all I have to say, right, is welcome to the new era, baby. Let's go. Let's do this damn thing! Corruption for the win! Let's go, baby! Corruption won the goddamn faction wars. It's game over. I never want to hear anyone say anything ever again. Look, I swear to God, I love, this is really cold. I love the fact that I've been getting shit for weeks, months. Like, it's almost like unfathomable. I was underestimating how cold the silly string would be. But what I'm going to say to you right now is that without even getting into the show, the one spoiler that really got out throughout the day was that Corruption won the faction wars.
Yeah.
And that's all I am here to emphasize. Because on this very program, I've gotten so much flack for defending Corruption. Because Corruption they're not good. Adam Collins is carrying the team. Chance Ellison ain't cutting it. Mike Kalinowski's not good. And then look, brother, at the end of the damn day, or really, at the end of the season, what Corruption did was unbelievable. It was incredible. So what I want to say about Corruption, right? I saw them getting a lot of flack. They were getting a lot of flack. Like even post spectacular. I saw you on Reddit, the Schwan subreddit. Not you, man. I know, and that wasn't you. I'm just saying.
I wanted to actually get into that because that was just irresponsible. That is just.
How dare you?
Like that's wrong.
Like, I don't know who this person is. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to give their username any credit. But what is their deal? What is the deal with giving freaking? You're giving factions shit still? On what earth? Since when is that cool? And I know, right? Like, it's like pro wrestling. The Rovich of your Schmodoff's like pro wrestling, brother. Like, I totally get it. But these are people. These are real people. And we're still going to give them flack after they are the undisputed winner of the season? Still, we're going to do it? We're still going to play that game? Because that's what we're on, apparently? But look. Again, Corruption won the damn faction war, and I could not be any happier. And to those who might be thinking to themselves, Chris, all those points came from Adam Collins. They came from Chance Ellison, Mike Kalinowski. Yeah, you're right. A decent amount of the points came from them because they played a lot this year. But guess what? It was a team effort, per usual. Every single faction was a team effort. This one, start at the top with Shannon Barney. And we'll get into, like, award speculation maybe a couple weeks from now. But, like, holy hell. Shannon Barney at the top of the faction. Then you got Adam Collins, your new singles champ. We'll get into that later. And then you have Chance Ellison right under him, a great 3 division player. Mike Kalinowski right under him. And then you got Marisol McKee, who only played 4 matches this year. Lost the teams match to the team that inevitably won the tag belts and then lost her singles tournament match to a guy that had to go perfect. So again, she's a kick-ass player. And Mark Edward Hoyk ruled the horror free-for-all by a guy who won that. Who won that free-for-all? Oh, yeah, Adam Collins. It was an awfully corrupt free-for-all. And yes, Leo Logan in the chat, Chris changed his name, the first letter of his name, to support the winners. You dang right, Leo. That's what's going on. That's what we're on today. Because honestly, corruption ruled the year. And even moving further from Hoyk, Laura Kelly had an incredible showing at the Star Wars tournament that people forget. People forget because obviously Ace won the tournament and Demolance is going to be a stud going forward. And we'll get to that in a second too. But Laura Kelly also chipped in. She chipped into this too. And then Elliot Dewberry, arguably storyline of the year. And we only saw him a few times this season. So the what I will conclude my little pre-show rant about corruption, because corruption is the bomb. And let's not forget the true winners of this season. The true winners of the Faction Wars. Movie Trivia Schmoedown Season 7 winners. Corruption. Let's not forget that. Now, with that being said, it's really dark in this room, and these sunglasses ain't going to cut it for me. But, yeah, what I will say is that this show is incredible, aside from the corruption stuff. I just want to get that off my chest. But, yes, Spectacular was fantastic. It was awfully great.
Yeah, it really was. And I am not upset. I mean, I was entertained the entire night. That's what I wanted. I was entertained the entire night. So what else could you ask for besides than to be entertained? Let's see, prediction wise, I was right the first match. Second match was Brittany Young and Jericho. I was right there. Third match was teams, wasn't it?
Yes, teams.
I was wrong there.
I mean, what a kick-ass match! Ooh.
It was a great match. Although, as much as I don't want to get into those, the difficulty in their 2s and 5s was suspect.
I just spilled all this on my shirt. But
continue.
Good job. Go ahead.
Then we had the Inner Geekdom Championship. I was right there. Cool. 3 or 4 ain't bad. And then Smith Sheridan got that right. 4 or 5 ain't bad. And then, unfortunately, I was wrong in regards to the singles championship. It was damn close. It was a great match. What can you do?
No, that's totally correct, 1,000%. But you were unfortunately incorrect.
Yes, unfortunately incorrect.
I gotta do this shit again. Corruption. We're in a new era. Oh, in my mouth.
That's called karma.
Look, Matt, what I will continue to rock with going forward is that corruption were the true winners. I don't care if, like, predictions aside, right? Yeah, I mean, to recap mine, what was the first one? It was Star Wars. I had Dame entertaining. I lost. That's unfortunate. The Jericho Young match. That match was fun as hell to watch, though. The teams match, I had Shazam. The Inner Geekdom match, I had Corruption. And so we saw that panned out. You went
3 or 6, and I went 4 or 6. Hey, and your winner and the Spin from the Real champion,
singles champion, Adam Collins.
Spin from the Real's prediction champion is
Adam Collins. Is like, he will be the man. He's the man, right? Adam Collins is my guy, and I've been championing that man for weeks, months now. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's start with Star Wars. I mean, it's the first match of the show, or do we want to talk pre-show?
I want to talk. You got to see pre-show. I had to do some running around.
Yeah, I saw it was.
Or are you talking about what we did pre-show?
Oh, what we did pre-show, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what we did pre-show was, we got to hang out with the great people at Let's Get Ready to Schmoedown. The LGR network, they were so kind to invite us onto their tailgate, and we had a blast. We got to meet some other after shows, because we're still relatively new. We're still relatively young. So the fact that we got the LGR push was a great time. Thank you so much to LGR for inviting us. We genuinely had a blast. And I mean, shout out to the Schmoes to the North. I mean, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, at least Spin from the Real wise, but we may be doing some stuff with them going forward. Just to put that out there. But we got to see some storyline progressions or some pitches from competitors to managers in the upcoming free agency during the actual official Schmodown pre-game or pre-spectacular show. And the one that at least caught my eye was Brandon Hanna and Sabrina Ramirez essentially selling themselves as a duo, which is an interesting collaboration, interesting choice. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to
2.0, but as competitors, but they don't have the clout to do so.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to rag on Hannah or because he actually made a great point on his Twitter today. Am I calling that for? Unfortunately, yes, I have no choice. But Brandon, he made a great point on his Twitter earlier, where every person he's lost to in Intergeekdom, or really any person he's lost to, period, has won a belt or is a former champion or a current champion in some way, shape, or form. So I mean, that's definitely something you can't like knock Brandon Hanna for that. But
well, I'm not knocking him for that. I'm in general like
we want to blur the lines between real life and kayfabe, and I totally get it. I totally understand, but we'll see what happens. And I don't think a manager will pick them both up for 2 or 3 picks personally, because of the wealth of free agency. And again, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah, the pre-show was a lot of hype because you want to build up the hype for the show, 1,000%, and all that hype led into Star Wars match to open the show. And we're not going to do match breakdowns. I guarantee if you're watching this, you probably already watched the match, or you already heard about it in nauseum from all these other shows, or just
we're just I know our buddies at the Ultimate Schmodown show are doing them week by week as the matches come out. We're not doing them. We gave our quick thoughts on them. There's so much going on now that you can't. You just can't.
We don't want
do
to
the breakdown.
And so we don't want to essentially bore you guys with things you already heard. But some big takeaways from this match. Alex Damon is nothing to play with, to say it lightly.
Not at all.
He is a monster. I saw some people already. They're putting him under Mount Schmomore.
You have
Rush
to.
Schmo, and
you absolutely have to.
I at this point, damn, you almost gotta.
He's got one loss, and it was his first match.
And I can't. Alex Damon's a monster, and Ace, right? And I felt bad for Ace, truly. When we had watched it, and because us over here, we had our own Spin Fin the Real watch party. But when we had watched it, I said to you, like, man, this isn't the showing that Ace wanted.
No,
because it was half a year, 6 months of hype, 6 months of preparation. But then at the same time, you're going up against a guy who lives, breathes, and sleeps in Star Wars every single day. I guarantee all my man's PJs have Grogu's on them. You know what I mean? So I guarantee that my man had all the preparation in the world, especially after Damon lost the Intergeekdom tournament to a guy, I don't know, what was his name? Oh yeah, Mike Kalinowski, who's also no slouch in his respective division. So it was a great showing for Damon to rub off, to shake off the rust, get off all the cobwebs from all the silly string from Star Wars.
If I remember, he went perfect, didn't he?
He missed his 4th round final. Is the 10th question the 4th round? The Han Solo question.
Oh yeah, because you said 5 instead of 6. He said 5.
Ace and Damon went perfect in that 4th round, but that damn Han Solo question ruined it for the both of them. And then Alex didn't get to answer questions.
Everyone forgets about Rise of Skywalker. Everyone forgets about Rise of Skywalker.
I forgot. I think I even forgot about it when
I said 6, and you're like, 6? How does that? I was like, Rise of Skywalker. Oh yeah.
He was in for that 2 seconds. So Alex Damon, holy God. But what else do we expect? What the hell else do we expect out of Alex Damon? Seriously. This is something that people were scared of. If I was going into a division and I saw a guy like Alex Damon, who I will happily equate to someone like a Dan Murrell, in terms of
Star Wars, yeah.
yeah, he's like in terms of overall play. Like if I'm playing Dan in singles, I'm scared shitless. If I'm playing the Odd Couple, Shazam, all these great teams and teams, I'm scared, you know. And if I'm playing Alex, I'm shaking in my boots. Like he is unbeatable. Granted, he has a loss on his record, but how long ago is that? Over 2.5 years ago. So almost 3. So I don't even want to add that to Alex Damon because he wasn't even Alex. He wasn't the demon like how we know him now. Alex Damon's a stud, but the takeaway of this whole match was Ace. Even in a loss, to me, the takeaway was Ace. He had a misstep a couple missteps in round 2 and in round 3 that sunk him ultimately. By the way, there was a great challenge in that round 3 that Winston and Ace they tried their damnedest, but the people at the Schmoedown pulled up their lucky Disney Plus, and bam, here they are. But I think Ace is going to have a kick-ass 2021. But what a way to end that season. To end a season like Ace's, starting from the bottom, the literal bottom. Like Winston, you know, drafting him, picking him up, and putting him in Star Wars, and then the run that Ace went on, and then all the way here to Spectacular. I love seeing that shit. Andres was tripping up by the sources in the background as well. Yes, he was awfully positive that he got that correct.
Yeah, and he said, and here's the thing, it's basic grammar. The line says resources, then the hyphen, and lists the resources. I understood where he was coming from, but when you break it down in basic grammar, it was listing the 3 resources. You can't put resources as one of the 3 resources.
Yeah, like it. Oh, God, and it was a valiant challenge, 1,000%. Like I definitely respect his the drive to get that question correct, because I thought to myself like, yo, did Alex just get that wrong? Because Ace was so confident that he got it correctly. And like when you see that in the Schmoedown, usually the person's correct, like that confidence. And it's not like a character like Sam or like Ben, you know, but it was Ace or it was Andres really saying to himself and telling everybody at the table, yo, I got this right. This is correct. Technically, this is correct. But they did not award him the points, and it really threw him off. Granted, he had a great fourth round, matched Alex, but it wasn't enough. You're still down a lot. You lost 3 points in the process. Like you were confident because that was a category he just had in solo.
Yeah,
he just had that solo category, and then it was rough. It was rough to see him do that and lose by TKO in the end. No one likes to see a TKO victory, especially at a show like this. But I felt really bad for my man. Truly, I did.
Yeah, I get it.
Like it's, oh God. But with the exception of Damon, or really just Ace's overall season, was there anything else you took away from that where you were like, damn, like it set the standard for the rest of the show?
Yeah, that was really a great match to start off on. I'll say this: these shows had a lot of ups and downs, and they were perfect for fans.
Yeah, and I think I might have mentioned this during our initial reaction. We're not live, but when we were just watching it straight up, I almost questioned the placement of putting the Star Wars match first, because I'm like, oh, yo, like, why would you put that TKO first, you know? But then I watched the rest of the card, and I'm like, all right, like, I see why you put it first.
The only one placement wise I will question was the Smith and Sheridan, which, I mean, yeah, I get it. The Return of the Flouse, that was awesome. You saw me just I just flipped. I'm like, oh, but no, I would have preferred the IG match there. I would have flipped.
I would have too. I would have. Even though that match also was I put that in the same vein. I actually would put that in the same vein as this Star Wars one.
Yeah.
That's why I said right now, like, yo, I wouldn't even change the card anymore. It's not even, because putting the teams match where it was is perfect. Putting the The two celebrity matches where they're at, I thought they were fine. Yeah, the the Flaus and Kevin Smith match, I don't know, right before the main event, but at the same time, it was a great surprise. It was honestly a great reveal, and Christian already knows how to work the pro wrestling angle. So it was great seeing Brett shave his head and that thing. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yes. But that Star Wars match, bummer for Andres, but I think my man's gonna bounce back. He will bounce back hard in 2021, and hopefully he gets back into Inner Geekdom, not just Star Wars. Personally, as a fan of his.
And we did forget to mention this will be a shorter episode. We do have a screening to cover, so just when it goes slightly under an hour, don't be shocked. Just what I should say. But let's move on because we've talked spectacular. We do have to mention Shazam's unfortunate loss. That one was a tough one to swallow.
No, what'd you say?
No, we did mention Shazam's loss. Sorry, I'm out of it, man.
I got you. But,
and you know why I'm out of it, so I guess.
No, you're good. You're good. But the Brittany Young Chris Jericho match was after that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Brittany Young did come out on top. The match quality, it low key exceeded my expectation. Because I don't know what to expect out of these celebrity matches, and I was thoroughly entertained with Jericho and Young. They had a great camaraderie with each other. There wasn't too much like disdain or them putting on characters for each other. If anything, Kaiser is doing that with Jericho and vice versa, which I really like to see. I love seeing that. I genuinely love seeing that shit with Jericho and Kaiser. I wish they did a little bit more of it. Young did come out on top, and it was a great way to cap off the season for the Dungeon, that rough season, the wavering season that the Dungeon had. And the Rockstars, they just came off that Damon win, and now you're moving into Jericho, and Jericho got close. He got damn close. Like, it wasn't a blowout, and people were saying before the match, yo, Brittany Young, she's out here studying, brother. Jericho's out here wrestling every week. He doesn't have the time to study. He held his own. He held his own against Brittany Young, someone who's, according to fans out there that I've seen, had more time to study. But Jericho's no slouch. My man is 0-2 at this moment, though. The future of Chris Jericho in the Schmodown, that's a question for a later day. And if we see more Jericho going forward, I hope we do. Whether it's with the Rockstars, we don't know. We'll figure that out when the time comes.
I mean, I think both him and Kevin Smith have made it clear, and that's something we need to talk about. It's no longer the Rockstars; it is the Stars.
The Stars, yes.
They have both made it clear. Jericho's like, I only want to be with Roxy, and Kevin's like, I only want to be with Coy. So
I mean, with that, and we'll see how that pans out. I see my man fall into the draft. Leo Logan in the chat. Jericho dissed Richard Jenkins in the post game after missing his 5-pointer on the core. Yes, Richard Jenkins is officially on the lexicon of Jericho. All my AEW fans will understand that for me. But I'm totally in the camp where like Jericho's probably going to fall to the draft, and maybe Roxy can pick him up later, depending on how the draft goes. Because especially with, I don't know about you, but I didn't think this draft was going to be long. But after hearing about how many auditions that Christian's getting for these for the fan interactions or the fan ones, he got over 500 the last we know of.
This may be a long draft. I don't know how many fans are getting in yet. But I think it's going to be a fun draft also. So, and I can't wait to watch it.
It's going to be nuts. Like, I'm assuming that if you got 500 people, your draft pool is going to be pretty decently sized.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was 150 people last year, if I remember correctly. So that's just.
Yeah. So, and there was no fans at the time. So Jericho in this, it's Chris Jericho and you want the name. But when it comes to points and if you want to actually play the game, we'll see how that pans out, because Chris Jericho.
But Kevin Smith is 2-0.
Rocking a crisp 2-0 is Kevin Smith, 1,000%. But Roxy,
he wants Merle. Give him Merle.
Please don't.
But no. He wants Merle, and Merle is no longer the champion. That's fair game.
I want
Well,
I want to eat dinner at this moment, and it's not going to happen.
Well, no. Hear me out. Because in his matches, Kevin Smith has pitched near perfect games.
Sure.
And he was ready to steal every single one of Brett's misses. Even the ones Brett got correct and had to go to multiple choice on, he was ready and he knew it.
Mm-hmm. And what I will contest, if I was Flaus, Kevin had some PEDs, some performance enhancing drugs, if you know what I mean. So maybe
I don't think those
I'll
are
challenge Kevin
enhancing.
Smith's performance and the PEDs he had before the match. I'll question that. That's what I challenge. But Roxy wasn't done with Jericho. Roxy had back-to-back matches that night because she was still in contention for second place if the dominoes sort of fall in the correct order, and that also had to pertain to the Odd Couple, who were going to face for the tag team championships against Shazam, a team who's been on fire this year. Both teams really have been on fire this year, especially the Odd Couple in the back half, and Shazam winning them not too long ago. But Shazam came out on top in I don't know about you, Matt, but it was and at the time, I didn't know how to feel about this match, but in hindsight, it was the emotions getting the best of people, and the questions, the difficulty of the questions you could always challenge, and PJ would be the first person to tell you. Maybe one day we have to have PJ on to explain that to us. But regardless of what people think, this was an awfully emotional match for all four competitors involved and the two managers that were representing each team. And the Odd Couple are your new tag champs, baby. Leading the Stars into a new season 8 with the tag team championships. And you said you weren't the biggest fan of this match.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But that I enjoyed watching the match, but that end, how the fourth round and the fifth round panned out was just, it took me out of it to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm. It was close. Like those first 3 rounds were close. Both teams slugging it out, like question for question, point for point. But that fourth round was where some space was created, and we saw Snyder go like 1 for 5 in his set of questions, and then Draco missing a question or two in his, and then
Draco missed more than a question or two.
Like it was a rough run. They were down what?
They were down like 9, if I remember.
It was like
correctly.
8 or 9, and what we saw in the 5th round was a rare collapse of the champs, and
Leo, that's not because both of that 2 round, that 2-pointer felt like a round, like a point question. That 5-pointer was just out of this world.
That 5-pointer was probably, I'm not even in front, one of the hardest questions I've seen in the Schmodown, and I love it.
For a second.
Okay, like I love Edge of Tomorrow, truly. Like I love that movie so much, and the fact that they asked for the nicknames on the posters, that was the question. PJ and the writing team. Oh my god! Because at this point in the Schmodown, or me watching the Schmodown, I'm not too keen on giving the writers any flack because they have a job.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they do a kick-ass job at it. And like those few times they had stumbles, and the challenges are like they're like the competitor wins the challenge, and bam, simple as that. They have a couple missteps. It's inevitable. But for the most part, these questions are on 10. This question was on a whole different planet. This question was in a whole different dimension, timeline. I was taken aback at how crazy this question was. And that American Hustle question, let's not sleep on that either. Like, I was tripping when I heard that question. Like, I thought, like they're asking for a movie in 2013, a crime movie in 2013, that called a microwave a science oven. So you got to listen out for that piece of dialogue in the movie to pinpoint that. And that's your 2-point question. Like, geez, man. Oh my God. Like I was I didn't even know how to act. I genuinely did not know how to act. I was so distraught. But again, I don't want to take anything away from the Odd Couple because they deserved that
And
after
Roxy
that
gave a
run.
beautiful speech because she could tell how they. I'm sorry. They just it looked like they stopped caring, and that's what really took me out of it. I get that you were down,
That's the vibe their body language gave off.
but the body language as a fan upset me because I'm rooting here. I'm hoping for this great match, and then the body language that Jeff and Mark are giving off. I get that losing is hard. It hurts, and I understand that. But when you're in the middle of a match, it ruins the product to a certain degree.
And Jeff Snyder's no stranger to wearing his emotions on his sleeve, you know.
Paul Yama's championship match against him is a prime example of it.
Yeah, and people still debate to this day whether he truly stopped caring or not. But I'm in the camp where the post game saved that for me.
Yes,
the post game saved it 1,000% because the love that both these teams were giving to each other, it hit different. It just hit different, and I was so taken aback, and it was really emotional. And again, like how we started the show talking about corruption, and how people are still giving shit to competitors and the managers. These are real people. That just come on to the Schmodown and answer questions for fun. Sometimes they're rewarded with a belt. How about that?
Yeah.
But it still pisses me off when I see it. And it's not just the Reddit. I love, like, the Schmodown subreddit, from my experience, has been nothing but pleasant. But I get it. It's been harsher for others, especially if you're a part of the Schmodown. And the Facebook group can get like that sometimes too. But come on, y'all. Oh, and don't even get me started on Twitter. But come on, y'all. Seriously. Like, especially after seeing stuff like that, the love that Mark Andreyko was getting from William Bibiani was truly, like, it just came from the heart. Mark was crying during the post game with Jen Sturger. By the way, shout out to Jen Sturger for coming back.
It was great seeing her back. It was a breath of fresh air. I was so happy.
It was she, and I said this on the Spin from the Real Twitter. By the way, follow us at Spin from the Real on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll have to add that down here.
Yeah, add it to the bottom line, brother. But seeing Jen it completed the production aspect of this. Like, to me, what I've been getting from the Schmodown, like, and Christian would attest to this. Like, it's not the full, display of what the Schmodown is capable of, because we've seen that before, obviously, with live events and the studio shows. But in digital, it's kind of hard to give off the studio vibe. But with Jen being there and how they edited everything together, that's the vibe that they gave off. I was so happy that Jen was there, and she was a great bridge between Shazam and the Odd Couple during that post-game match. Because Shazam, William Bibiani has had a hard time defending belts.
This was only his second time winning, so.
Yeah, but I want to see my man retain a belt because, he's that damn good. And the kid, this was their first gold together. Their first gold if you're the kid, Yeah. So the fact that they were still so sentimental and caring for the winners, winners of the match. And that's another thing to what you had said, right? To, like, these teams were so, like, they were so in it, and the Odd Couple got a little too in it. Not like Andrew Guy in it, but like in it still. And they wore their emotions on their face and their demeanor. And after the match, after they found out they won, because Jeff Snyder was in awe that he won. And
Mark Andreyko was shocked when they put him on camera first. Look, I'm just like, wait, what?
Exactly. And the fact that, like, we don't know. There's an edit in between.
Yeah, there has to be.
In between the fourth round and the fifth round, especially after Jeff had to re-get that question in the fourth round because he misheard something, or he didn't hear the second question that he got. So there was an obvious edit, and I would love to know what happened in between then that caused the demeanor change for the Odd Couple going into round 5. Because Roxy, again, proving why she will always be a manager of the year consideration, regardless of her record. or
I mean,
how many
and
points she has.
we shouldn't go without mentioning the fact that she overcame the Finstock Exchange and the Stars took third place.
Like, ain't that some real shit? Ain't that
Yes.
some real shit? Like, and I want to touch on that, but definitely before the show ends, because I have some thoughts on the what's their nuts.
So let's see. We did Jericho. We've done Jericho's Young. We've done Star Wars. We've done teams. We've done Sheridan and Smith. See, we got IG and the main one left. Let's get through these and then cover some of the big stuff that happened.
Yeah. Shazam. They took an L, but they're going to come back with a vengeance next season, presumably with Corey Janjo. And Odd Couple, they're gonna lead the Stars until the Stars are no more in the Schmodown. Truly, they will forever be with Roxy. But following that was in the Inner Geekdom match with Chandru and with Chance. And to me, this was, the one misstep Corruption took throughout the day. And I know Chance. He still put up a respectable score in Inner Geekdom. I love Chance Ellison. I've said that on the show multiple times. He's one of my favorite competitors to watch in this whole damn thing. But like, you can't play like that. You can't put up 5 points in the first round in Inner Geekdom. You can't, because that sets the standard for the rest of the match. And Chandru was just on 10 with his doing his whole thing. He was on it. He was just on it. And watching my man from Corruption, Chance Ellison, just like he found his way to the 5th round, but he got TKO'd by Chandru, which it's Chandru, and that's your champ, the first champ to defend it since Jason Inman in 2018, by the way, just to show how much this league has grown since Inman, right? But you can't be, and I know Chance is going to come back with a vengeance in the next season. But I'd be lying if I said like this wasn't the match I expected. I wanted a barn burner, and it was to an extent. It got closer towards the end, but I wanted I wanted a slugfest. I wanted sudden death.
Well, we didn't get sudden death at this match, but we definitely got it with the main match.
Yeah, and that's like, and before, like when we did predictions last week on the show, or when we even or when we were talking about LGR right before in the tailgate, and we were talking, like I said, Inner Geekdom had potential to be match of the night. Same thing for teams, and both of those matches ended in a way that was weird, but it happens. It still progressed stories, and it gave us some great moments. Chandru's doing doing the whole belt thing, like he was doing this. He was having the time of his life, and Chance, he's gonna kick so much ass next year. Chance Ellison, Leo Logan in the chat. Chandru hit his 2-pointer to the fin before Chance missed his 5.
It wasn't a TKO. But
yeah,
it was...
I'm sorry, I did not mean to say TKO, but either way, it's still not the barn burner I wanted. At the same time, there's still a lot of verbal jabs thrown in between the matches, or thrown in between questions and rounds, that made me a fan of a personality. Really, really happy. I really got awfully excited for my wrestling fans. I popped a couple times to hear some of the things, especially Chance. It's hard to talk shit. It's hard to give someone flack when you're losing. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And even then, Chance was still bringing the heat. So hell yeah, Chance. Inner Geekdom, hardest division in the Schmodown. By far.
I wasn't heartbroken. My boy Winston solidified 2nd place. Cool. We love Winston over here on Spin from the Real. First guest we ever had.
We do.
Love talking with him. He's a good guy. But it sucks that he still lost the whole faction championship. It is what it is. You gotta live with it.
And not to rag on not to rag on Swagger Winston, but Winston was talking a lot about corruption, as he should have, because
Yeah.
corruption and Swag feud of the year. I'm calling it now.
Oh yeah, he's coming back with a vengeance. I have no issue saying that at this moment in time.
So
I have a bold prediction.
Oh shit, where are we doing those?
Dan Murrell will be on Swag come free agency.
Woo! I want to jump the gun. I will reserve all thoughts. Although what I will say is that we're on the same wavelength. I will say that. But Winston was talking a lot of flack, talking like, "Yo, corruption, you will not win a belt today. You will not win a belt today."
And they
I'm
did.
like, all right,
and they did. And they did.
I'm over here. I'm sitting down in front of my TV, like, all right, bet.
Chris, you're in the upside down. All right, you're back.
Am I?
Yep, you're back. I can see your dangly moving.
My dangly? Don't say that. So what I will say.
And now you're back in the upside down. Let's see. I think we're got him now. Ha! It's your turn today.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good now.
God bless America. So, yes, Winston's talking a lot of flack, but before the main event, we got Flaus, and Winston is the man, 1,000%, Taylor. Winston is the man. Shout out to him popping up on our Twilight stream, too. Great guy. But we had Flaus and Kevin Smith right before the main event. It was our little precursor, and we were pitched Sheridan Smith. And I don't know anyone in this space. I know someone had to have, and I just didn't see it. But someone had to have called Flirt and Flaus coming back for Spectacular. I didn't see it. I didn't expect it. I got audibly excited seeing Flirt and Flaus face off against Kevin Smith, and then create their own little world, and it made me the happiest boy to see it. 1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, that match, that was beautiful. My man Merle may have lost.
What'd you say?
I said I want to talk about that match because that last match was beautiful. My man Merle may have lost, but that may be the greatest schmodown match we have ever seen.
Dude, God. That main event, it's everything I expected it to be, minus sudden death. So for those fans of the show, last week I said that, 2 weeks ago when we had our prediction show, I said that Dan was going to win. I'd fallen into.
Well, you stuck to that last week also.
I did double down on my on the show last week, but then I woke up on that Saturday morning and I thought to myself, something doesn't feel right. I'm lying to myself. I'm lying because both times I said I had Dan Murrell winning on this very show. Something in me was like I wanted Collins to win. And I've said that. I've been verbal about that. I wanted Adam Collins to win. So then we went on LGR to expand our canon a little bit. We went on that show, gave our predictions there, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go with my gut. I got Adam Collins winning the main event. And surprisingly, I caught no shit from you. But that match, bro, it went to sudden death, and they were slugging it out. Question for question for question. And Adam Collins pulled it out for the W. I never want to hear people talk shit about Adam Collins again.
Me and our boy Colin from the Ultimate Schmodown Show are both on the page of we need to see him under the big bright lights, which that may be that for all we know that could be a year from now.
We may never see it because of coronavirus. I don't want that being the asterisk. I don't want that being
I'm not saying I'm treating it as an asterisk. I'm just saying before I fully say
before you do what?
Commit,
no, before you do
before
what?
I fully commit to saying this dude is the guy. He's A tier. He is A tier, verge of S tier. I got to see him defend the belt, and I got to see him do it under the bright lights. That's all I'm saying. Anything away from other than those. So,
are you trying to cheapen his win, bro?
No, I just said he played a great match. He proved how good he is.
You're saying but though at the end. Saying but.
I said he's A tier. For me to put him in S tier, I just want two things I'm missing. I just want to see him defend, and I want to see him in person live in the studio.
What if he doesn't defend? What if he doesn't defend?
He's still high A tier, but if he does well in the studio, he's still high A tier. He's just going to be right there where I put Lon Harris.
Matt. This man can go 20-0. You'll still be like, I want to see him play under the lights, brother. I want to see him in the studio. It's like, man, some of the best matches we've gotten ever in this
are out of the studio. Yes, they are out of the studio. I will admit
been in the last 4 months. And you're like, I'm so happy for Adam Collins. You know, he's high A tier, but man, like, I'm tired of hearing these butts.
No. You could say you're tired of hearing these butts by saying, but I'm never going to put him in S tier. I just said I want to see him defend.
He's been S tier. That's not news.
Hey! Fool's Gill. I love the Coyote too, but he needs studio matches. Thank you, Fool's Gill.
No, and that's great. You know, like I can't wait to see him in studio. But as of right now, with what we are doing in the Schmodown, that's our champ we're talking about now.
I know that's our champ, but I'm not going to put him in S tier yet.
I'm not saying he's S tier. I'm
I
tired of people
know you aren't.
talking about shit.
I'm not trying to talk shit. I said before I put him into S tier, I just want to see these two things. That's not me talking shit. That is not me taking anything away from him.
And I'm not saying you're the one. I'm not talking about S tier. Stop bringing up S tier. I just don't want people
Chris,
talking shit about Adam Collins.
I wasn't talking shit about him. I was just giving my personal opinion on him. I'm saying
months,
he is good. I am not going to take that away from him anymore. But these are the last two things I want to see out of him. That is all I said.
And this is coming from a man who's, when he's lost both times, he came on this show and you're like, see, Chris, see? And
he hasn't lost both times. But if you want to go there, we can talk about how this man is 1 of 3 on his 5-pointers.
How many 5-pointers has Dan Morrell missed? How many 5-pointers has John Rocca missed? Are we gonna? So we're gonna start considering great players by how many 5-pointers they missed, or how many 5-pointers they hit? I said if you want me to go there, they went to sudden death, and he outlasted Dan Morrell.
Yes, he did, and that's
he was
great.
The best player ever.
Happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm not taking that away from him.
But I know it's coming.
There's no but.
You son of a gun. You still. That's your champion.
That is the champion. Yes.
You said yes. Oh my God. You're something. You're something, Matt Thomas. Seriously. I don't know what you're doing, but keep your head straight. Going a little crazy. But what I will tell you is this match was the best match of the year.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah, it was. And those are our thoughts on Spectacular as a whole. Let's get into the juicy stuff. The season 8, the storyline, the Schmominati. Let's go, because we got a few minutes left.
We do. How about that? So, what storylines can we touch on?
The only storyline. Well, Bateman going back to heel, fantastic, love it. It's everything I wanted. Do we see team action become a thing again? Who knows? But the storyline of the night, and it left fans wanting more. You saw that throughout Twitter.
Correct.
Was the Schmominati.
Oh, yeah, that too. There were a few vignettes throughout the night with Andrew Guy talking about like, "Ooh, I'm here. Like,
I got the book that has all the knowledge.
I got it, you know, like, and he is out here doing his thing. But the bread and butter happened after the main event, to where he was at Skybound, and he's verbally said it's not Christian. So we can all scratch off Christian off our.
But you want to know a name he didn't say it wasn't, and what name we've been saying for weeks? Yep, Mark Ellis. And as we said, Mark Ellis had a few moments there where he was a little bit annoyed.
And I don't even want to. I can speculate about Mark Ellis legitimately all day.
Yeah, and Leah Logan brings up one we were going to touch on, a brand new Kate, and she dumped Grace.
Thank God.
I know you're just happy the accent's gone.
Yes. I love Kate. I think Kate's freaking hilarious. But that accent, I couldn't do it. It was cool at first. Like, I like that it was different. It was different. I'll say that. but I couldn't rock with it as the season progressed. But the Schmominati was the big question mark going into Spectacular in regards to storylines. The Grace and Kate thing was new. Ben turning on Mark Riley, so the official end of Who's the Boss was great. But the Schmominati and Andrew getting captured.
Where is Guy? Where's Guy? Where's Guy?
Where is my man at? And then we saw like we saw a person in a mask talking about the Schmominati and shit, and it was mind bending, and I was just in awe because now we're getting culty, like we're getting like into like cult like territory. How many people are involved in this thing? Is it big? Like, because we've been talking one person. Who's the leader? No, there are multiple people that we should take into account. The one thing I will say I was kind of bummed about was although
I wanted one member reveal, just one member reveal.
I wanted because we'll talk about season 8 in a hot second, but with what they're doing in season 8, I wanted that
a Schmominati faction.
Yes, and you didn't have to tell me who the manager was. Christian could have been like, someone's been emailing me that they're talking to factions or they're talking to players and they're assembling their own faction to take over. And I would have been more than cool with that. Just them telling me that, you know? But they didn't say anything. Granted, there's still a lot of time between now and next season, so who the hell knows? But I was left wanting more, which is the pro wrestling foil. Like Christian knows what he's doing. He's leaving the fans wanting more. Who knows when we get more, whether it's before the season or after the season. And I'm just, damn, they got me. I know people were disappointed that they didn't get the proper conclusion or a proper reveal, but they worked me. From my wrestling fans, they worked me, man. Like, they got me good. They really got me. And now, as invested as I was before, I'm uber invested going forward in the Schmominati. 1,000%. Give me more. Who knows? I might be part of the Schmominati. But what? No, but the Kate stuff that Leo Logan had mentioned, great that she dropped Grace. Grace just felt like she just felt like she was there the whole season, at least in my eyes, with the Den. And Kate properly changing the Den going forward. Maybe this will keep a guy like Ben Goddard around.
My favorite line. You can't advise someone when you don't give them advice, Grace.
It was a kick-ass little promo that she cut, not breaking character, but changing up what she was doing, dropping the accent, getting fed up with all this shit, and going into Spectacular. Although Zerflirt and Flaus had to go out the way he did with that TKO, but I'm so glad the Den's going to be different next year, as it should be. Not saying go heel, but it's going to be different.
You want to know what else is going to be different? As the Logan in the chat brought up, no more founding fathers after Dan is betrayed by Roca and Dagnino. We had Dagnino didn't even show up to the match, so Roca just was like, you know what? I'll manage you, Dan. You're my partner, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And then when Dan loses, Dagnino's magically here.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't show up because I knew we were going to lose. That's what we've done all season, this, that, and the other. And and he's like, Dan, we're in this position because of you. It's like, whoa, pause. This man has won you a title and defended it twice, but you're here because of him. You're not, but he was the one who hindered your team. The man who
some ludicrous claims are being.
Yeah. The man who limited your team was none other than one of my favorite players of all time and the Brutus in this situation, John the Outlaw Roca. At 2 Brute.
I love the little promo that Roca cut afterwards. Whether you buy what he's selling or not,
I don't, because the moment you say Dan's holding you back, I'm like, Dan carried your team multiple times. What are you talking about?
It's a stretch. It was a stretch. And I mean, I think they sold it to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Because you want to split up the founding fathers, and realistically, like using my pro wrestling brain, you want to split up your two best guys to have them do separate things so they can face off against each other later. And I know even if they were within the exchange together next year, like apparently in-faction fighting is a thing. I'm not, and I've said on the show, I'm not a big fan of that. Hopefully that ends next year. But you split up the Founding Fathers. Rocco turns heel. He's the outlaw again. He aligns himself with Dagnito. And let's not forget Craig. He name dropped the Barbarian straight up, front of the show. He's like, Barbarian and I, we're going to rock this thing with Finstock. I'm like, whoa. That was nuts. Because Barbarian wasn't on the show. And he's being name dropped by the Outlaw to be the second person, not confirmed, but the second person essentially aligning themselves with Finstock going into next season before free agency officially begins the draft and free agency after the 3 locks. So, oh Lord Jesus, that was ridiculous. And Dan losing the singles belt, losing your tag team partner, losing your faction in the process. Dan Murrell had himself one hell of a night in all the worst ways possible. In all the worst ways possible. I felt bad for Dan. I truly did. How could one feel bad for the greatest of all time? Just go look at how I reacted to the thing. Maybe I have to put it up on the channel because it was nuts. Like watching that unfold the way it did. It was too much. It honestly was too much for me to watch. And I love Dan. Dan's the best of all time. Dan's the greatest. But is he the bad guy that they put him out to be? No. But that's just another reason to have him come back with a vengeance going into season 8, which they did announce what season 8's subtitle was going to be.
War. Huh. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
War, baby. Season 8, Faction War. Danilo wants Dimolanta. We'll see if he gets it. I don't want to include Dimolanta because just from what I'm seeing, the 3rd spot is still floating in the air. You might even say the same thing for Craig. Who knows? But war, baby. We're getting war. A proper faction war. Although we got a lot of that this year, we're doubling down on that next year. And we're sticking with 8 factions for season 8. There's not going to be a 9th faction. I'm still holding out hope for the Shmominati faction. But there will only be 8. 10 competitors still per faction, which we don't get that 9th. So the team's number is still going to be 10. But we'll see how that goes going into the draft. And then we have 3 matches a week. What was it? 3 pay-per-views a month?
Yep, 3 pay-per-views a month.
So if you're not a $10 patron, I highly recommend it.
So there might be 4 matches a week in some cases.
There may be 4 matches a week. And
unless the pay-per-views end up being those Friday matches.
Sure. And I'm not prepared for that. And with this being on a Wednesday, and according to our boy Frankie Numbers, the matches are supposedly going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So who knows?
They switch this to Mondays. That may be our new day going forward. We'll see. That's one possibility. It's either right now it's looking like Mondays or sticking with Wednesdays. We'll see.
And the second we find out, we'll let everybody know.
Yeah, and if we stick with Wednesdays, you can expect we'll cover the first match that drops, and we'll start doing previews of the next 2. That's what it's looking like.
And if we stay on Wednesdays, but again, I don't want to have a production meeting on the show, but we'll talk about changes to our show. But as of right now, we're sticking on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. every single week, especially like next week and the week after, and throughout the off season. But the second we have a change in anything, we'll let the people know. But the Schmodown gave us a butt ton of change right off the bat at Spectacular. Exactly what we expected. We wanted some insight into season 8, and we're getting that. Christian hasn't solidified dates per se. All we know is that the awards will be the first week of January. The second week will be the draft. And
no, I thought second week is draft list.
The draft list. Because that's when the cutoff is for the auditions.
Yeah.
And then mid to late February is when the season will properly start. So, I expected a February start, but a late February start is how we're looking. Mid to late February. It seems right. You give time for a draft, and you get time to properly train, especially since we have a bunch of fans coming in. So It's going to be an interesting few months for the Schmodown, and there are already some rumors running wild, brother, on the internet. Frankie Numbers is constantly on the rumor mill. Our boy David Sackrider from Repeat the Question, he's now on the rumor mill. I saw what he put earlier about Ben Bateman and Ethan Irwin. I see that, David. I see what you got going on over there. But it's going to be a fun offseason, and I am so jazzed. And I don't want to get into rumors, because next week we'll do exactly that.
Yeah, next week we should mention will be pre-recorded.
Yes. No live show.
No live show. My work schedule this is the only week during my entire winter break for school that it doesn't line up, which is strange. But it's mainly because it's the holiday week. They change up schedules because of the holidays. But yeah, I am excited. We're gonna do the 8 what's going to be the protected 3 for the other 7 factions. We know who corruptions are.
We know who corruptions are. Adam Collins, the champ, because you got it. Chance Ellison and Mike Kalinowski. Shannon wasted no time. I'm sorry. We all knew that was going to happen. It was the worst kept secret. Besides Mark Ellis leading.
I know a lot of people thought and wanted Marisol. It just didn't make sense to me. So.
And okay, just to touch on that, because it seems like we're wrapping the show.
Yep.
What it does seem like for me with Marisol, she will get picked up, and from what I'm seeing, she's not going to get picked up by corruption, which breaks my heart, my achy breaky heart. She won't fall that deep into the draft first round. Shannon won't be able to pick her up unless she trades up, which I don't see her doing. Because how can you? That requires you trading Collins, Mike, or Chance. Which no, please don't. I think Marisol will excel with someone like a Roxy, someone like a Dagnino, dare I say it, someone like a Kaiser, a Levine. There's so many fun options for Marisol. She will be a highly sought-after free agent, and if she somehow falls into the draft, she's top 3. I'm calling that right now.
Yeah. Well, I actually have something non-Schmodown related I got to cover for our listeners and viewers who may be in the Cleveland area, because this is an entertainment thing. I do have something I have to speak on in regards to just part of the business side of things we do here. So for everyone in the Cleveland area, Fatheads and Special Wish Cleveland are brewing up something special to cheer about. This winter, they are teaming up with a Special Wish Cleveland's branch, and they are doing a Special Wish Ale, which will be available at Northeast Ohio's Winking Lizard and Lizardville in Bedford. The next tapping is Chris, stop, please. The next tapping will be Friday, or December 18th at all the Northeast Ohio barrio locations, followed by Columbus on the 21st at around 6 p.m. A Special Wish will then be tapped at the Flying Monkey in Tremont on December 19th at 4 p.m. and will be available at Nico's Bar and Grill or Bar and Gyros on December 22nd at 4 p.m. Special Wish Ale is brewed with German malts, German hops, and crisp, clean German lager yeast with 7.0 ABV, 35 IBU. Hearty malt flavors dominate the deep ruby red winter lager. The Special Wish Ale is perfect for warming up around a cozy fire. Part of the proceeds from the Special Wish Ale will be donated to a Special Wish Foundation. It will be used to grant the wishes of children from birth up to 20 years old with life-threatening illnesses. So, yeah, I my studio rep sent that to me, saying, "Hey, please promote this on your shows if you can." So, doing that.
Word.
But that's the show. That's the show.
Unfortunately, that is the show. Thank you so much to everyone that supports us. Like I said, follow us on Twitter at SpinFromTheReal. Surprisingly, we got the name. Not surprised at all. But follow us on Twitter there. I spam that thing every single day. Mm-hmm. Come talk to us on Twitter. It's a lot of fun for us to do. And we any announcements for the show that you don't see on the show will be on Twitter. So if there's any time changes, like today, if there's any updates, or if we're not going to have a show a certain week, or if we want to promote a show, if we have guests on, please follow us on Twitter at SpinFromTheReal, and follow us down at the bottom at C. Anthony Lopez. and at Watt Movies Matt.
Yep.
You know, it's we have a lot. We're trying to expand what we got going on here. We're still we're what 5 months deep.
Yeah, 5 months deep
From going weekly.
Mhm.
So it's
5 months. 5 months to the day almost. The 5-month anniversary of going weekly is
How about
yesterday.
that? So we're having a lot of fun over here at Spin from the Real. Next week we'll be pre-taped. I might be hanging out in the comments of when it goes live.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, come hang out. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right. So signing off. I'm Matt.
And I'm the personality, Chris with a K, Anthony Lopez. Corruption is the best faction ever.
And folks, remember, spin from the real, not the peg. Have a good night.
Bye.